My husband's new wife came to my door with a greedy smirk. We're here for our rightful share of your father's estate. Move out immediately. I smiled as my lawyer walked in behind her. My ex-husband Brian left me for his secretary 2 years ago. Classic story. 12 years of marriage, and then one day he said he didn't love me anymore. Her name was Tiffany, 26 years old, fake nails, fake everything. They got married 3 months after our divorce finalized. I kept the house because my father gifted it to me before we got married. It was in my name only, always had been. Brian fought for it during the divorce, claimed he put money into renovations. The judge looked at the deed, looked at the gift documentation, and told Brian he had no claim. He walked out furious. I thought that was the end of it. Then my father passed away 6 months ago. Heart attack, sudden and devastating. He was 71 and healthy his whole life. One morning he was drinking coffee on his porch, and by noon he was gone. My father left everything to me. The house, his savings, his investment portfolio, his vintage car collection, and lakefront property he bought 30 years ago. Total value came to about $1.2 million. I didn't advertise this. I just quietly handled probate with my lawyer and tried to grieve. But somehow Brian found out. Small town, big mouths. Last Tuesday, my doorbell rang at 9 a.m. I opened it to find Tiffany on my porch with Brian behind her. Tiffany had this greedy smirk on her face like she already won something. Can I help you? I asked. Tiffany pushed past me into my house without being invited. She looked around at the furniture, the artwork, the kitchen my father helped renovate. Nice place, she said. We're here for our rightful share of your father's estate. You need to move out immediately. I stared at her. Excuse me? Brian stepped inside. Let's not make this difficult. I was married to you for 12 years. That makes me entitled to abortion of any inheritance you receive. Community property laws. My lawyer explained it. I almost laughed. Your lawyer is an idiot. Tiffany's smirk faltered. Don't be rude. Give us half now, or we take you to court and you lose everything in legal fees. Brian gestured around. This house, the lake property, the investments. I helped build this life. I deserve my share. You cheated on me with her. I pointed at Tiffany. And now you want my dead father's money? That's not relevant, Tiffany snapped. The law is the law. I looked at both of them standing in my living room like they owned it. The audacity was almost impressive. That's when my front door opened again. My lawyer, Daniel, walked in carrying a briefcase. I texted him the moment I saw Brian's car in my driveway. His office was 3 blocks away. Sorry I'm late, Daniel said, setting his briefcase on my table. Brian's smugness drained immediately. Tiffany looked confused. Who's this? My attorney, I said. Since we're talking about law, I figured we should have someone who understands it. Daniel spread documents across the table. Mr. and Mrs. Collins, I understand you're making claims against my client's inheritance. Let me clarify some things. He pointed to the first document. This house was gifted to my client in 2015, 3 years before her marriage. Never marital property. Already established in your divorce. Further claims constitute harassment. Brian tried to speak, but Daniel continued. Second, under state law, inheritances are separate property, not community property. Even if you were still married, Brian would have no claim to inherited assets. Tiffany's face went red. That can't be right. It is. I have the statutes here. Daniel pulled out his phone. Third, by entering without permission and demanding she vacate her own property, you've committed trespassing and attempted extortion. My client called me before answering the door. I've been listening to everything. Brian went pale. My client is willing to forget this if you leave immediately and never contact her again, Daniel said. No lawyers, no court, no restraining order. Just walk away. Tiffany grabbed Brian's arm. She's bluffing. Let's talk to our lawyer. Your lawyer gave you bad advice, Daniel said. Probably charged a fee to tell you what you wanted to hear. I practiced estate law for 22 years. There is no claim here. Brian looked at me for the first time since walking in. I saw the realization that he miscalculated badly. We're leaving, he muttered, pulling Tiffany toward the door. If either of you contact my client again, Daniel said, I file harassment charges within the hour. This recording makes that case simple. Tiffany shot me a hateful look as Brian dragged her out. The door slammed. I exhaled for the first time in 10 minutes. Thank you, I said to Daniel. He smiled, tacking his briefcase. Your father was smart. He made sure everything was protected. He knew exactly who Brian was. He always did. I walked Daniel out and stood on my porch, the same porch where my father drank his morning coffee. I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Brian thought he could swoop in and take what my father built. He thought I was the same pushover he cheated on and abandoned. He was wrong. My father spent his life making sure I'd be okay without him. Every document, every gift, every legal protection. He knew I'd need it someday. I went inside, made tea, and sat in my father's favorite chair. Tiffany wanted me to move out of my own house. Instead, I'll stay forever. It's mine. Always was. Always will be.